The Atewa forest lies about 70 kilometers north of Ghana's capital, Accra. A large area of the range has been declared a forest reserve, including about 17,000 acres of upland evergreen forest, which is rare for Ghana.
Atewa Forest is considered a globally significant biodiversity area. So it's a forest which has a lot of global interest, not just nationally. It's a very unique ecosystem.
The forest functions as the source of three rivers, the Jinsu, Densu, and Biren River. These rivers are an important water source for many local communities and a majority of the inhabitants of the eastern and greater Accra regions.
There are fringe communities that depend on the Atewa forest for non-timber forest products, such as bushmeat, such as fuelwood, such as medicines, and what have you.
This is, in our local language, called sare. And this is a product from the forest. You use it to brush your feet. And it's very good because it has medicinal values as well.
Besides the many traditional applications and services the forest provides, many communities depend heavily on the three rivers that originate in the reserve. As the rivers flows from the forest range, they travel through several communities that use their water for agriculture, industry, washing, drinking water, and other everyday purposes.
Soon the Lucasem Faso also my pa. Is answer Yahano. You will shoot a bray. Soon pa. My young family. Pipe, we know the idea and say a boy and my chin Sufi, the chin Sufi, sunim, and the water for watering.
Yana no bahano. Who say, Densu and your basa. This heading and crampa a biwum. And it's na one beno, ma eban say.
Miles downstream from the Atewa Reserve, the Densu flows into a giant man-made reservoir called Weja Lake, which has been created by the Weja Dam.
So you are at Weja Headworks, where we treat water for about half the population of Accra, about 2.5 million people. The water comes from the Weja Dam, and the Weja Dam is fed with the Densu River, which travels all the way from the Atewa forest in the eastern region to this place.
After processing, the water reaches Accra, where it enables the population to go about their everyday life. The Densu Delta marks the final stage in the river's course before it flows into the Atlantic Ocean. The delta is a Ramsar site, a wetland that is internationally recognized for the fundamental ecological functions and their economic importance. In the end, millions of people are dependent on the water that the river Densu provides. From the delta and the capital Accra, past the many agrarian communities along its course, to the fringe communities around the Atewa forest where the Densu originates. However, the existence of the forest is under threat. The growing traditional threats of illegal logging, hunting, and farm encroachment are a destructive force for the natural resources of Atewa.
They see it as a very quick way of getting money. And they see most of these resources as a free resource.
And what I'm telling you, I'm going to apese, kusi, and your train. I'm going. Kakra no share aboa. For who we share or train, and I say Koku no mu dwane. And na de entisabi edin ho odin pa. E chi nkra ye ho hwe. Ne asamba sa. Ne kra na obekọ emfa. Ne asamba. Enso so ya wa nkwa oja unidi. Ntra na eguso aye ko no.
You see your teeth.
Nti wawa ne okro ne mahogany no be nya etwa nyamedua na etwa dua no ba ko so a se ka bimia atiato we yeton dua 10 cedi so we are ne kakra de etwa money e de hwe your family no ne ade.
In addition to these traditional threats such as farming, logging and hunting, a new and ever-growing threat has risen in the region. In recent years, there has been a significant rise in illegal gold mining activities, known as the galamsey.
And the question is, Juma ye, the tree near friend Koli, the Tiawa Tremono. As a excavator and a decaying Abbey Juma, Ewaha. And you see excavator and a chisa na ye Juma. The one to me and yin Yakake Muno. Na yenso ye no na mayinya aduane di wa. We try to say ya na efino efrim na gold ne de ekwase se na medical kan gold ne modu nti ande ekofom.
The mining sector have serious impact on the social activities of the community, both positive and negative. Because one, let's talk about the positive aspect. You know, people can now get a few cedis to be able to buy what they need and so on and so forth. But notwithstanding that, having said that, the disadvantages outweigh the advantages, because right now, the places that has affected us seriously is education. Most of the school children run away into galamsey. And sometimes you go to a classroom and the classroom is deserted.
These are kind of our places. Is that clear? Yeah. All right. Must we clean them up for me and let's see. There's an animal and what? An idea.
For this school, I think their age range between 14, 15. And for the number of students who have even stopped the school, I can say that now we have about 45% in school. Very, very big problem. Very, very, very big problem. Sometimes you, a teacher, will bath coming to school and then you see your kids having these materials around their head, running to the mining centers. So you have to go there and call them. The parents themselves are influenced by this mining, and they are encouraging their children to engage in this. You see, when they go, they come with money. So the children sometimes, parents become very happy. The actual fact on the ground is that due to this galamsey, most of the children have stopped schooling and now they are interested in the galamsey.
And of course, some say you could have a juma be any ha. And cocoa any a juma ye can't say juma we home. And Tigina and Qualadians will be a cocoa cra as we mo juma. A cocoa nisicano. Acquired a word you may be a say we nisika be a for a chira and one in Tumpon until a no night a juma ye can.
In the major cocoa season from September, October, November to December, none there. wotia wote ne kese pa fi December January ba no dia elfe bia kopeni obedi eno ne a emma wonya kwan ko wura forest no mu bi obetimi adidi akosi se September ho obebebu onya bi wo ha ena ebe tata no na oja nka ne to ho.
Logging, farming, hunting, and mining are the cause for the large-scale deforestation of the Atewa forest. But the threats attribute to another major problem, which is felt all along the course of the Densu, Birim, and Ajinsu rivers.
The most serious aspect is our rivers. You know, that has been a domestic source of drinking water. We use it for so many things, different kind of things. Right now, people who goes to farm have to carry pure water from home to the farms because all the rivers in the farms have been polluted.
People are doing fishing. So when we pollute, we should expect that the pollutants will get into the fish itself. We have had a course because of some pollution areas along the river to sample water and test. And we have found this to be very, very dangerous to human health.
Because of the mining activities, chemicals have been added, and then everything has become fertile, you can't take it. And we don't have any proper water for these children. So they depend on pure water.
And the machines are special, and no move to go do. Into a man, I want be on Sufin, now be famous. Now I cocosa. Eja, ye Nisica, ye Nico Suku, and ye need be in the come moshe. And no more your Majuma said you musipe.
So if the Atewa forest is under threat, it means that the source of the water is under threat. So if Atewa is no more, it means Densu is no more and Weja Dam is no more. If the water continue to undergo such a threatening situation now, the water quality will be so bad, we have to use more chemicals to treat. Prices of water will come up high again. If the water is allowed to be polluted and it can no longer be treated, it means Accra people are not going to get water. Comparing that one with what a few people will stand to gain. If Accra is not getting water, cholera will be there. People will not get water at all for anything. And water is life.
Me ba kura na me ni nsu wo fi amenuma metimi to mirika na ma bese bi akono enti me ba mete se me ba se nsu na ase no no kwale ni aja ma yem hyehye pa sense e be da ni anu aduan di e be da ni ayedware
nani na yese yanko ama enti nya hwe se river ni ha dia na se nsu no nto a yenti nya bibia menyi.
When a downstream user he opens his or her tap, you know, once water flows out, he is not so much concerned about where the water. Most of them even don't know where they get their water supply from.
The water? No, that one, the water they come from government. But the place where they come from, we don't know that place.
All these threats are real, and they are happening now. Thousands of people depend on a diminishing forest, and millions rely on the endangered rivers that originate there. There's no simple solution or quick fix that will satisfy all stakeholders. But we are not too late. With a joint effort, we can make real changes.
Now, we at the Forestry Commission have planned to upgrade the status of Atewa to that of a national park, where under international laws, all such activities are curtailed.
I think environmental laws, bylaws must be complied with. If we don't enforce it, nobody will comply with it.
Protecting the forest with laws and regulation, however, is not the only solution. People depend on the forest for their subsistence. Simply trying to keep them out will not work.
So we have to manage these reserves in collaboration with the communities. In our benefit sharing mechanism, the communities are taken care of. At the same time, they are allowed to harvest some tangible materials from the forest, for example, snails, picking, firewood collection, and medicinal plants. That cannot be done in isolation. We need to support that with awareness creation, with education in the schools and in the communities to let people understand and appreciate the importance of Atewa.
I don't think they are aware of the threats. They think that they are doing whatever they need to do to make their daily bread. But that's why the campaign is very, very important.
If we're able to educate the parents, we educate the children, we educate the opinion leaders about all this mining, how it should be shadowed.
We believe that once they understand the importance of the forest and then the threats posed by all, then they will also do their bit to try and conserve it.
So we have to rethink a more sustainable system that will engage the communities, provide them with alternative livelihood, and then reduce their dependency on the forest reserve.
Yenya bibi akebeye na ne betumi ayanse ebenya dwuma foforo a ebetumi esombo a ebetumi aye na ka eja we no yenre nya ne sa akepe metiwe mi emesi nimpa me ye dwuma correct ha e sa so dwuma a yenya bi nyenti na ma ye de ho abesi
na matine hia se emlofo no ene aban so ene NGO sponsor ni komo na komo mo aye ne asu hu kwa be fa so ebetumi anate folesim kakran so ye bibi kakran ne so de ahwe ye le ne yema
kura ni edu enuaba no ya nese bi kura fine in ye dwuma ye odi be man se yenye no ene ye beye mi wo ka chem se wane mi menes enuaba menes bosumi meji market ya meye mini problem
fe binum so benya sika wan kasa de bedigwa ana se obetimi abana wa kyerɛkyerɛ won sa ne dwuma bi aso no akura ne nza ne dwuma bi a ɔre ya ebetimi aboa no mo no ankasa enya bibi
ekuya ko bi ma me yin fan choku we
me hu se enwa no omo onwura mu de bed ye de omba fi na se ye omo nso a ye betimi ma aton mo ye nya sika omo tina ma me start enti me nya me ko ho ekusunya ho se de me yeshimi aye no.
I was first schooling where I come once and then they say there's a program going on at Chebi, Arocha Company, Ghana. They have come to train people in mushroom, grass cutter, and then snails. And this is what I'm doing now. If I take the mushroom and then there's a market for it too, yes, I can get money from. This is where my interest is. Yes, and then I found this one more vibrant than going to do the galamsey. There's no job around this place. So this one have provided me an employment.
I got into the galamsey in 2012. Yeah, and I think I didn't last for 1 year. I didn't last in the galamsey for 1 year because it was a very tough business. So I went there praying with God that He should at least help me getting some money. When I get the money, I will set up business. That business, I will name it Meet Me Nawasi. Oh, I'm very, very happy because business, you know, little drop of water make a mighty ocean.
Atewa is a unique place, so we need to market that uniqueness. We need to explore and develop the necessary infrastructure for both scientists and tourists to explore the uniqueness of Atewa, to ensure that income coming in through ecotourism development will go to the communities, will go to the traditional authorities, and will be used for other social development within the communities, as well as create job opportunities for the so many unemployed youth.
I think that's the ultimate goal. When we look at human beings, we need to make sure that everything that we do, the end result is good for people and not just going into your pocket.
So we should do that cost-benefit analysis and see, and we will realize that it will be a good idea to leave Atewa intact, for Atewa to supply water to Accra, And for people who are polluting the water, if they could understand and we could enforce the laws for them to stop, it means that we can supply water sustainably to the population of Accra.
So that we ensure that generations yet unborn will continue to have good drinking and water for various purposes. If you live anywhere along the river course, you should just bear in mind that you are living upstream some other person's water.
The best one in my work at if was a one more bang, Nesudi, a boy in papa.
Moya my yesrem. Ye de nyame ase mo amatu anamo na mo abehu se ye brede ye haw. Enti se mo abehu na se mo betwetwa age ye ya. Obi a obeba no beka sa. Esenso ne nyina dia.
We don't want to wake up one day and lose this very important resource. So I believe that it's very, very important in trying to put across this message to the Ghanaian public to ensure that we protect this very important resource, not just for our current generation, but for generations that will come after us.
People around Atewa need to be trained, and funds need to be made available to invest in economic sectors, such as tourism and sustainable farming. The local communities want to conserve the Atewa forest, but do not have the resources to do so on their own. Accra and other downstream areas need to lend support so that people can live from the forest and drink the water from its rivers for generations to come.